The winds of Suzaku stirred faintly as Wang Lin stepped beyond the ancient tomb. The blood-red sky above had already dimmed, and the vast starry expanse opened before him like the mouth of a beast waiting to devour. He carried on his back the weight of the past, the sorrow of his clan, the enmity of enemies he had slain, the cries of the dead, and the endless karmic chains of cause and effect. Wang Lin did not fear this weight, for his Tao was born from grief and tempered in solitude. But as his divine sense swept across the void, he felt something stir. Something vast, something inevitable. It was then that the shadow of fate revealed itself. The 7 soul transformations. They were not enemies of flesh and blood, not cultivators from rival sects, nor beasts from ancient worlds. They were the manifestation of the heavens themselves, trials tied to the soul refinement inheritance, remnants of the ancient soul transformation sect, sealed away in endless cycles of reincarnation. Each transformation was a step, a stage of power, a cruel method to temper the soul. And to walk this path, one had to endure them all. Wang Lin had no choice, for to pursue his Tao, to pursue strength, to shatter the heavens that sought to toy with him, he had to walk through the slaughter of souls. And so, his journey after Suzaku began not with peace, but with war. The void around him trembled. From the silence of the stars, a figure emerged. It was himself. No, it was a distorted reflection, eyes burning crimson, face twisted in unrelenting fury. The first soul transformation. The soul of rage. It carried all the anger Wang Lin had buried deep within. The wrath of a child abandoned by the heavens. The fury of a man whose parents had been slaughtered. The rage of one who had endured betrayal, loss, and countless deaths around him. The soul of rage raised its hand, and the starry sky cracked. A sea of fire erupted, roaring like a beast, charging toward Wang Lin with the fury of annihilation. Wang Lin's eyes turned cold. He lifted his right hand and pressed down. The fire trembled. His voice echoed like thunder. Rage cannot bind me. I have walked through hatred and slaughter. I am not ruled by anger. I am tempered by it. With that, his domain of slaughter burst forth. Scarlet sword light, formed from endless killing intent, slashed through the fire and split the raging soul in half. The first soul transformation let out a guttural roar before dissipating into motes of light. But as it vanished, Wang Lin felt his heart tremble. For a moment, his blood surged violently, as if his own fury had been roused by the confrontation. This was only the beginning. From the fading embers of rage came a shadow cloaked in gray. Its form was frail, its eyes lifeless, its aura heavy enough to crush a mountain. The soul of sorrow. It carried with it the weight of every tragedy Wang Lin had endured, the death of his clan, the endless years of loneliness in the mortal world, the death of Li Muan, his beloved, who had faded away like a dream under the cruelty of fate. The sorrow surged like a tide. Wang Lin suddenly found himself standing not in the void, but back in his village. His parents stood before him, alive. Li Muan's soft smile glowed like the moonlight. All the people he had lost were there, reaching out to him. His chest tightened. The illusion felt so real. The soul of sorrow whispered, "Stay. Why struggle against heaven? Why carry the burden of loneliness? Stay here, and all will be well. No more fighting, no more pain." For a long moment, Wang Lin's eyes dimmed. His heart wavered, but then he clenched his fists. His killing intent surged. His voice thundered like a great bell. "Even if sorrow binds me for eternity, I will not bow. I will carve open a path with my own hands, even if I stand alone against the heavens themselves." The illusion shattered. The figures of his loved ones dissolved into mist. The soul of sorrow shrieked before it too was torn apart by Wang Lin's will. But as it vanished, Wang Lin's body trembled. His heart ached with grief so sharp it nearly broke him. He exhaled slowly, his eyes growing colder than before. The trials were not just battles of strength, they were battles against himself. The sorrow faded into silence. Yet silence itself soon became treacherous. The stars rippled, the void bending unnaturally. Wang Lin suddenly stood within the celestial realm. Palaces stretched endlessly, immortals bowed before him, and at the heart of it all sat himself, draped in golden robes, crowned with power, ruler of heaven and earth. The soul of illusion had arrived. This trial was unlike rage or sorrow. It was temptation itself, a dream that whispered to the heart, "You need not fight." The soul of illusion spoke softly, its voice like countless echoes in his mind. "You can seize it all here. No loneliness, no sorrow, no endless struggle, only power, recognition, worship." The sight was intoxicating. For Wang Lin, who had always walked a lonely road, who bore grief upon grief, the scene cut deeply into his heart. For a fleeting moment, he felt his steps slow. His Tao trembled. A thought flickered. What if this could be real? But then Wang Lin's eyes turned sharp as lightning. His cold voice shattered the dream. Falsehood. Even if I must crawl bleeding through endless slaughter, I will not accept an illusion. My Tao is real. My struggle is real. Be gone. With that, his essence of slaughter burst forth. The illusory palaces cracked, the bowing immortals dissolved, and the golden-robed figure let out a distorted scream before dispersing. The void returned to silence. The soul of illusion had been cut down. But Wang Lin knew the further he walked, the deeper the trials would strike at his heart. The silence did not last. A new presence emerged, heavy and suffocating, the soul of greed. This one did not appear as an illusion, nor as an echo of sorrow. Instead, it manifested as countless treasures floating around Wang Lin. Pills of immortality, weapons that could split worlds, manuals of supreme cultivation, even divine artifacts capable of defying fate. At the center stood the soul of greed, a formless shadow whose eyes gleamed with endless hunger. "Take them," it hissed. "With these treasures, you can become invincible. You can surpass heaven itself. All it takes is surrendering to me." For the first time, Wang Lin felt his hands twitch. Even he, who was cold as ice, had desires. He had longed for strength, for the power to protect those he loved, for the ability to resist the heavens' cruel designs. But as his eyes swept over the endless treasures, he saw through them. None of them carried Li Muan's smile. None of them carried the warmth of his parents' voices. None of them could erase the loneliness carved into his soul. His voice was low, steady, resolute. "I do not cultivate for greed. I cultivate to defy. If heaven itself seeks to break me, then I will shatter heaven. I need nothing from you." With a single motion of his sleeve, Wang Lin's origin soul fire erupted, burning through the treasures. The shadow of greed let out a wail before being consumed in the flames. The fourth trial was complete, but Wang Lin's face grew pale. His soul felt heavier, the weight of the trials carving scars into his heart. Still, his eyes were colder than ever. The void quaked. Blood filled the starry sky. The soul of slaughter had come. Unlike the others, this one felt like home. It appeared as a towering figure draped in blood, wielding a blade forged from the cries of 10,000 souls. Its aura was suffocating, an ocean of killing intent, thick enough to drown the stars. Wang Lin did not flinch, for he too was a man of slaughter. His Tao was born from death, and countless corpses paved the road he had walked. The soul of slaughter roared, its blade descending like a falling heaven. Wang Lin raised his hand. The air split, sword intent erupting from his body. Scarlet light burst forth as his slaughter domain collided with the soul's blade. The starry sky trembled. Blood mist filled the void. The two forces of slaughter clashed endlessly, neither yielding. For hours, perhaps days, the battle raged. In the end, Wang Lin's cold gaze pierced through the sea of blood. His words echoed like thunder. "You are slaughter, but I am slaughter itself." With a deafening boom, his killing intent surged past all limits. His domain devoured the soul of slaughter, tearing it apart until nothing remained. But victory was bitter. Wang Lin's body shook violently, his blood boiling, his soul screaming in agony. To destroy the soul of slaughter, he had nearly torn apart his own essence. Still he endured. The fifth transformation was broken. From the ashes of slaughter rose something even more insidious. A figure cloaked in beauty appeared. Its form shifted endlessly. At times it was Li Muan, at times Shui Yue, at times nameless figures of ethereal beauty. The soul of desire. It spoke softly, its voice a tender whisper that pierced directly into his heart. You have walked so far alone. Do you not long for warmth, for love, for release from this endless suffering? Stay with me, and you will never be alone again. The illusions grew sharper, warmer. Li Muan stood before him, smiling with tears in her eyes. Wang Lin, she whispered, I've waited so long. Stop fighting. Stay with me. His body trembled violently. His heart screamed with longing. For a moment, the coldness in his eyes faltered. He reached out a hand and stopped. His hand froze in midair. The illusion's smile wavered. Wang Lin's voice was hoarse but unyielding. If you were real, I would never let go. But you are false. My Tao cannot be swayed by desire, no matter how deep my longing. Tears, real tears, burned in his eyes as he whispered, Li Muan, wait for me. One day I will carve open the heavens and bring you back. With a roar, his soul fire erupted, consuming the soul of desire. The illusion screamed as it dissolved into nothingness. But Wang Lin's heart was torn raw. He stood in silence for a long time, eyes wet, before finally regaining his composure. 6 transformations, one remained. The void itself trembled. Darkness swallowed the stars. The final trial had arrived. The soul of void. It appeared not as a figure, nor as a beast, nor as an illusion. It was emptiness itself. The absence of all things, the end of Tao, the silence of eternity. Its presence seeped into Wang Lin's bones, whispering a terrifying truth. All things end, even you, even your Tao. In the end, all returns to nothing. The darkness surged, devouring his slaughter domain, swallowing his soul fire, erasing his very existence. For the first time, Wang Lin felt true fear, not of death, but of meaninglessness. His voice echoed weakly. If all returns to nothing, what is the purpose of my struggle? The void deepened. His body began to fade. His soul trembled at the edge of collapse. And then, from within that despair, a spark ignited. Memories surged. His parents' smiles, Li Muan's tears, the weight of his clan, the countless battles, the blood, the loneliness, the defiance. His voice grew stronger. If all returns to nothing, then I will carve eternity from nothingness. With a roar that shook the void, Wang Lin burned his very soul. His Tao flared, a flame of defiance against the heavens themselves. The darkness screamed. The soul of void twisted violently, unable to consume him. At last, with a shattering sound, the soul of void broke apart. Silence returned. The 7 transformations had ended. So, what do you think? Was Wang Lin's greatest trial the soul of desire or the soul of void? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more deep lore stories like this one, don't forget to subscribe, because this is only the beginning.